Heels, Pops, and Chair Shots, Wrestling's Entertainment Champions, the Bad Guys, continue their big Texas Road Tour, and we got ourselves a mighty nice stop. So do we. Surely we do. You know him very well, Big Texas. He's done God's work when he retired the man Kiefer from New Texas Pro. Oh, he's untouchable. Oh, the Teflon John himself. Johnny Bedlam, come on down and shoot the ish with the Bad Guys. How the hell are you, fam?
What's up?
Woo!
Hey,
What's
how y'all doing, man?
Big chillin', man.
Very good. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate y'all. Said it was raining out there.
Yeah, it's raining down here in San Antonio, so I mean, got inside and snuck away a little bit to talk to you guys. So tell me what's cracking. What's up?
Oh, we good here, man. We good. We blessed to have you tonight, and we're just ready to unpack so much with you here tonight, man. We're ready to tell the world about you and just your journey and your story, man. I can't wait. We got old school, we got mischief, and we ready for war here. We ready to do the damn thing. First and foremost, my guy, your 2021 has been pretty much the breakout year for you, my guy. Like, the biggest catalog for your career is here, and just talk to me a minute about that. How much fun are you having right now, man? How's the journey?
Well, man, I mean, if you're gonna just go right off the bat and say I'm having fun, yeah, that's kind of a mixed bag, honestly. You know, but well, I mean, when I say that, it's like you get in this business and they don't tell you a whole lot about like some of the shenanigans that go on when the camera's not rolling. And I mean, this past year I've kind of been exposed to that the hard way. But I take it as a double-edged sword of like, if it wasn't for that, then I don't think I would have had the year that I've had. I don't think I would have, you know, I don't think I would have stepped into my own little groove. Because sometimes like doing your thing with your art takes real pain. It takes real pain to kind of tap into that like deeper like side of you that you need to kind of make something a little better than it already is. So it's kind of a double edge. Am I having fun? Yeah. But hopefully like this next year we can kind of get the ball rolling a little more. Hopefully things start to open up a little more too, like just with, you know, certain cities and capacities and regulations and whatnot, because I know we're all still kind of got that in the back of our heads. But man, hopefully like this next year I can have a lot more fun than I'm having right now. Not to say that I'm not having any fun, because I'm having a blast doing some stuff, but you know, next year looks a lot brighter.
Well, no doubt. And it's great that you bring that up. Talk to me a bit about those frustrations, man. Like, is it more of the traveling issues, or is it more of the booking, or?
I feel like there was truth when you were speaking at the showcase a little while back.
Yeah.
Oh,
man, you know,
It's a Bedlam pipe bomb, so to speak.
right?
Oh, y'all gonna pull it up?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Y'all gonna pull it up?
Yes, sir. I mean,
Okay.
you guys won't be able to hear it, but the fans at home will. That's just
Behold,
how
who is the company that gives me a call? It's a company I've never even worked for. Inspire AD.
This is a moment.
I hate watching back my own shit. You know?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're trying to do, bitch. You're trying to hitch your wagon to the horse that is Teflon John so you can profit off my hard work.
Woo!
Oh, and while I'm at it, while I'm at it, I see the leeches are out tonight. It's
What's
not
funny is,
just
like,
this.
your
It's the
eyes
9
are
other
repeating
boys
every-
here
like, you know
that are
this
trying
shit
to
by
find
heart.
the
See.
next guy that they can make a quick buck off while they hand him an envelope with not nearly enough money to pay his bills in a post-pandemic world. That's something that not just wrestlers be feeling, but all these people be feeling too. So guess
Fucking
what?
hype.
Guess what? If you want to use Teflon John to make a quick buck in the wrestling business, by all means, you're looking at the golden goose that can carry your company.
Golden goose,
but you better
baby.
be willing to pay me what I'm worth. And when these boys get out here, call me an artist, because I'm going to use this canvas to paint a masterpiece on their ass.
Yeah, painted masterpieces, Johnny. Talk to me a minute about that promo, man. How'd you feel? What inspired that? And What brought you to that moment, man? Cause you was killing.
Well, man, you know, I met with a comedian down here in San Antonio. He goes by the name of Jay Whitecotton. And I talked to this guy, and we were kind of fleshing out some ideas of, you know, where I wanted to kind of take the character, where I wanted to kind of go within the next 6 months to a year. And, you know, like originally I had kind of based my image around Paul Wall and like the Houston rap scene from the mid 2000s. But lo and behold, man, like my guy Brian Keith is just absolutely killing it. And he's owning that. Like that is him. Like Brian was born and raised in Greens Point, which is right outside of Houston. Like that is his culture. That's who he is, man. And like once I heard him come out to Still Tipping, I was like, man, I got to change my shit. So I was like, yeah, man. And like if it was anybody else besides BK, I really wouldn't switch it. But man, I respect BK so much. Like that dude has grinded so long and so hard. To see him get all the stuff that he's getting right now, it's much well deserved. But I kind of wanted to take it in a route that was kind of more me. And so me and Jay were talking, and we were just talking about like, you know, there's not a lot of, like, everybody in wrestling nowadays wants to be a star. Like, I feel like their ego kind of gets in the way of the overall picture. You know, when was the last time you had a story about, you know, the common man that is like scratching and clawing, you know, not just to get opportunities, but to get paid, to get money? Like, we're living in a time right now where half the world's broke. Man, people are walking out of their jobs and they're not showing up to work because they don't get paid enough. They can't pay their rent. They can't pay their bills, you know? And so like, it's kind of close to home, you know, you show up to a show and you're only getting paid a certain amount out of an envelope. And it's like, man, I'm barely going to break even on this trip home. Like sometimes that kind of gets to you, man. And you hate the times when you're taken advantage of because like you just want an opportunity or you want a chance. So it was kind of like an amalgamation of a lot of things. There was a lot of things that were kind of built up after a while. And, you know, man, I'm going to be the first to say that I haven't been in this business very long. I've only been in this business like 3 to 4 years right now. But you kind of see it like happen very early on. And luckily I saw it very early on. So that way I could kind of guard myself as to when it happens again. And I'm not trying to say that I got a big head or anything, because believe me, that's the last thing I want. But it's kind of that crossroads too, where I'm starting to kind of know my worth a little bit.
Talk your shit, Johnny. Damn it. Don't humble yourself to these motherfuckers. Get that. You know what you're worth. That's excellent, man. And so I'll be honest, right? We've been kind of keeping our eye on New Texas Pro, and then like you came on our radar, and the first thing I saw from you actually was a Twitter promo. Right? You could have promoted. Shit, I don't remember. It was.
I know what it is. It was you cutting on Kiefer.
Oh, okay.
Was it like the start of that?
So really, man, like I guess when I started to find my promo groove, it was actually with a company down here in San Antonio called Heavy Metal Wrestling. And we had kind of gone through some stuff like on the business end where we were all just kind of like feeling some type of way, and we didn't really know how to express it. And so, you know, some of the heavy metal vibes have always been like an homage to, you know, that underground feel that ECW had back in the 90s. And I was like, well, man, let me be your Mick Foley. Let me get the camera for about 6-7 minutes and let me just talk, you know, let me spew something. So I went home, wrote some stuff down. Next day, slapped the journal, and I was like, hey, let's film this right now. And we filmed it and we put it out, and like the reception from the boys at least was like, man, this is something that I've been wanting someone to say for a long time. And after that, man, I started to kind of get my groove a little bit. I started getting more comfortable in front of the red light, because a lot of people, when they see that red light, they freeze up, especially when they got a mic in their hands, right. You know? So I just got more comfortable, and luckily, man, like all props to Kiefer and and Dylan, who runs Heavy Metal, man, they allowed me to pick up a live mic. They allowed me to film myself, to put myself out there, because, you know, half of this game is on the stick. And I've always felt like that was the place where I was more comfortable. You know, I can spend my years perfecting my craft in the ring, but if you ain't able to talk on the stick, you know, you're not going to get very far in this business. And that's just my opinion. But you look at the greats, and they could all carry the crowd when they had that mic in their hands. So as long as I got that down, I feel like I'll be all right.
I literally told the same thing to Old School when he showed me that promo of you. That's the same thing. Like you have to be great at the mic, and this guy's got it. He's got it. Like, yo.
Well, thanks, man. I appreciate
it. Holy shit.
And I'm glad that you said, like, the greats got it, right? Because you trained with one. What was it like? Right. What was it like being a part of Row, and you know, under the tutelage of Booker T, a great talker himself?
Yeah, man. You know, I will say Booker, what you saw on TV was what you got, man. I was blown away that, like, his personality on screen, like, really carries over when he's behind the curtain and he's teaching us stuff. He's one of the most animated people that I've ever met. To sit under his learning tree was something that I appreciated a lot. And I moved from San Antonio to Houston, packed my bags and went to go learn for about 2 years. Some of the most knowledgeable 2 years I've ever had, man. We would sit down in his office and we would watch film, like some of his matches. He would break down film with us. He'd look at our matches. He'd break down stuff. That knowledge is very expensive, and it's something that you shouldn't take for granted. And I also had a lot of good trainers out there at Row. Guys like Gino Medina, guys like Ryan Davidson, Rex Andrews, JJ Blake, guys that, you know, learned from Book. They taught us, and now we can teach, you know, the guys that come after us. It's trickle down economics in the best way possible. So, like, sitting under his tree was something that, you know, I'm never gonna, like, take for granted at all. And I appreciate the 2 years that I got from it.
Was Booker T somebody that you watched growing up?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I remember in 3rd grade, I did a spin-a-rooney in PE, and yeah, like I kind of nailed it, and then that was one of the, like, side quests in life that I had. I was like, man, I want to, you know, be able. I want to be able to.
As soon as you did it. Like,
yeah, man, I want to be able to do a spin-a-rooney at some point, and I think I busted one out in a match down here in the valley. Yeah, I busted one out, and I was like, oh shit, man, I'm like, okay, I can do this. So yeah, I loved watching Book, man. His King Booker stuff was right around the time that I started getting back into wrestling, and then, you know, seeing him on commentary, especially, where he got to show more of his personality that everybody knew he already had. But some of that stuff, and then I heard a guy one time say that Booker was one of the greatest WCW wrestlers because he's the only one that came over to WWE after they bought it and succeeded long term.
Wow, that's a great point. That's a great
point. Which I looked at that and I was like, yeah, you're right. So I hold Booker in high regard, man. To me, he's one of the best to ever lace up.
Right.
What was, and this is probably the most important question of the night, so I hope you really think about this. What did Booker say when he saw you do that motherfucking spin-a-rooney?
Oh, man. Well, I don't know if he
not just do that.
well, I don't know if you ever saw it, man, because Book's got 1,000 things to do in one day. So I don't know if you ever saw it. But the guy who produces Row, Kevin Bernhardt, which, shout out to Kevin, man. He's one of the best producers, maybe in the nation when it comes to wrestling, producing reality wrestling. He gave my spin-a-rooney an 8 out of 10, I think.
Nice.
So I just kind of, like, say his word is Booker's word. So we'll say Book rated it an 8 out of 10. So we're all good on this end, man.
The King's
outside of Book, who else was kind of like your I don't say wrestling idols, but who are your other wrestling favorites?
So down here in San Antonio, I actually, growing up, went to the same church as Shawn Michaels out here. So I would see Shawn in the halls when I was like 5 or 6. You know, I'd see him on a Sunday, and then the next Monday he'd be on Raw. So I would have to say that he was the guy that brought me in. Because I wasn't really allowed to watch wrestling in the mid 2000s because I was a young child, and for obvious reasons, you know, it wasn't the best thing for a 6-year-old kid to be watching. But you know, like seeing Shawn on there gave me the ability to watch. And you know, I remember around 2007 he had that match with Cena where they went an hour on Raw, and after that I started watching like day and night, man. Some of the other ones were, you know, Jeff Hardy, of course, when he was doing his world title runs. Punk, of course, man. Like, I was a CM Punk guy through and through. And then just, you know, kind of whoever came about, like Shinsuke was another big one that I just, like, I got enthralled with. Shinsuke, Omega, of course. Getting into the older, you know, All Japan stuff now. So guys like Kenta Kobashi, guys that, you know, just make things look real. I love that match with Kenta Kobashi and Samoa Joe. It's like one of my favorite things, especially in the Japanese commentary, just because it adds like an extra feel to it, man. So those guys really, like, guys that just seemed intense too. There's something to be said about a guy with intensity. Like, I think that's what's missing in a lot of people sometimes, is that sometimes you have to show that this means something to you. And if it doesn't mean anything to you, you shouldn't be here.
Oh, that's big facts, man. That's big facts. I'm glad you said that. Yeah, that's a lot of wrestlers that could use more of that, I feel, as well.
And you convey that in your promos. That's part of your glow. Yeah.
Big facts on that, for sure. The delivery on that is no lie. You're doing your thing, 2021. We all had suffered a setback or whatnot with this pandemic. Do you feel like you've bounced back in a well? Nobody's really recovered or fully, you know, bounced back from it. But do you feel like you're in a level right now where you can produce and perform comfortably, at least, and travel?
To a degree, yeah. Yeah, like last year was kind of rough for everybody. You know, my day job, I got laid off towards the end of the year, which kind of sucked, man. You know, it did give me a lot more time to focus on wrestling and to kind of hone my craft. Okay. But a lot of the stuff outside of the ring was kind of hit or miss. And honestly, like being 23 this past year has kind of been just... You know, the Blink-182 song, man, nobody likes you when you're 23. Like, this shit was spitting, man.
That shit hit different this year.
Yeah, you know. But I digress, man. Like, this past year's taught me a lot. I've kind of gotten more in touch with me as a person, kind of who I am. A little, I guess, if you want to call it self-actualization, that could be some kind of route you want to take.
You spitting here?
Yeah, man. You know, just kind of letting some stuff go, and also, you know, growing into the crossroads of, like, you have the chance to reinvent yourself into whatever you want to be. You know, the time of being a college kid is over. You kind of have your own identity now of what you believe in, what you stand for. So now it's kind of like, let's go into the rest of the time that we have on this earth, and let's do something with it.
Beautiful, man. Beautiful. Real talk.
That's like deep. That's deep. You hit our hearts and shit. We're like, damn, yo.
So someone told me to come on here and just start talking about like Eastern philosophy, just blow you guys' minds.
Let's talk about mindfulness.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna go too far tonight.
So you're a college kid, right? So what'd you major in? What was your major?
So I graduated May of 2020, so right when the pandemic happened. I graduated with a major in psychology and a minor in communications. So if I go back and get a master's, man, I'd probably switch it to communication just because I feel like that's more up my alley. But we'll see, man. You know, like my student loans are coming back real soon. So yeah, man.
Like, oh, I'm never going back to school. But when those student loans start creeping up, you're like, yo, if I go back to school, you mean I don't have to pay this for a little bit longer?
Yeah, that's true, dude. For real. For real.
That tricked me into going back a couple of years. So now I'm even deeper in the hole.
Do what I do. You get the shoot to pay for it.
Yeah, man, you know, like part of me has been like, do I want to get like a big boy job, like sit in an office, get like a salary? But it's like, man, I'm still 23, you know, like this is time that I'm not going to get back. So it's kind of weighing out what I want to do and figuring out like how I want to live, you know, the young part of my life. Because one day I'm going to be like 40, 42. I don't want to look back on this and say that I kind of wasted it just trying to grab paper, man. Like, you know, money to me is a very important part of the game, but it's not the game itself.
Real talk.
So what does a big boy job look like for Johnny Bedlam?
Shoot, man. You know, man, my mom was a teacher.
Don't do it.
So I've always had what?
He said, "Don't do it."
Yeah, man. Like, you know, like she's been bitching me about like trying to get into that field, but I just like, again, I hear nightmare stories from people that are teachers that I know, just like, man, especially right now, like, don't do that shit. Don't do that.
It's profession right now.
Yeah, but you know, man, there's a lot of avenues that I could go down. There's a lot of stuff that I'm interested in. I've also, you know, dabbled in kind of like screenwriting and creative writing, so maybe something like down that route. You never know, man. I still got a lot of time to figure out what I want to do with the rest of my life. And lo and behold, if it ain't wrestling, there's still a lot of good opportunities that I got in my back pocket.
Ooh, you got tricks?
Yeah, you never. Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's who you meet and what you know. You know the old saying. I don't fucking know.
Big who you know, not what you know.
Yeah, something
like that.
The saying out here in Tennessee might be in Texas.
Yeah, man.
Johnny, you've held quite some gold in your heyday here now.
Yeah.
What's it feel like to be a champion and carry responsibility for a promotion?
Well, besides carrying around the belt, which is like the biggest rib of them all, it's humbling, man. You know, it's like, to me, winning a title is like somebody telling you, okay, I trust you. I trust you with something. I trust you with this. I trust you to be a guy that's gonna kind of make your own path. That's gonna help talk people into the building. That's gonna help draw eyes to my company. Like, I give you this title and I trust you with it. And I feel like I've been able to do that with any title that I've really held. I've been able to kind of elevate the product, not say to like a huge degree, but even to a degree where it's just like, I have people, you know, if I'm a champion, I have people outside the arena talking about the promo that I did leading up to it. You know, that to me blew my mind. Or like people buying my shirts with my face on it and, you know, supporting my journey. Like seeing that as you're holding a title kind of does something to you of like, okay, I got to keep rolling. I got to keep the ball going at the speed that I have it at, because once you kind of get that momentum, you don't want to let up. And I feel like I did that with a lot of the titles that I held. I think I've held about 8 in my 4-year career, which ain't too shabby, man.
Hey,
that's good.
The two that I'm really proud of are the Heavy Metal Television Championship and the New Texas Pro Lone Star Championship. Those two to me, yeah, man, those two to me helped me kind of find my groove a little more and kind of helped me find like just exactly what I wanted to do with those titles. And, you know, I'm really grateful that those guys trusted me to carry them.
Big facts, man. Big facts. And
so I'm glad you mentioned that Lone Star Championship.
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised none of you motherfuckers.
I was waiting for somebody. I was like, I smiled and everything.
Max Heights.
Yeah, what about him?
What about that guy?
What about him is what I want to ask you. How you feel about that motherfucker stopping at your train? Here you are, you're carrying what you say is one of your favorite runs, right? You're running your favorite titles, and here comes this motherfucker to stop you in your tracks. How you feeling about that? What does the road to redemption look like for Johnny Bedlam against Max Heights?
You know, man, here's the thing about Max, bro. When I first touched with Max, he didn't have that fire. He didn't have that gumption inside him that was like willing to dig in like the pit of his stomach to pull out a win. You know, and I got my hands on him and I took that title from him. And lo and behold, the next 3 matches that we had where we kept upping the stakes, I started to see his intensity rise. I started to see his drive kind of excel forward. And, you know, props to him now. He's putting on matches that are, you know, stellar, exquisite, man. His match with Cole Radrick last night for Hocus Pocus was really good, really awesome. And I watched him wrestle Chris Carter where he was just smooth. Like, you know, Max has done a lot of good stuff. But, hey, man, like, I don't forget, dude. And, you know, to me, it's 2-2 right now. We've had 4 matches. It's 2-2. Someone needs to get that deciding fall. So I'm not saying that I should be in line for that belt, but just remember, I never got my rematch. So if I need to stake my claim, that's what I'm going to do.
What you're saying is that you made him that champion. So what
you could say that.
That's what you should say to Max motherfucking Heights. You're welcome.
You welcome.
Yeah, man. You welcome, bro. You know, you carried around that title that, I mean, like, hey, granted, honestly, I never said I quit in that match, so technically that title's still mine. He's just carrying that shit around. He's just carrying that around for me, man. And, you know, I see that he's got his new little boy. He's got Rike, his little manager. But, man, he best keep that title away from me, because if I get my hands on that title, I'll take Rike and I'll stick that title where the sun don't shine, man.
Oh, big fact.
And it's got a jagged edge on one of the stars, so you know that shit's not gonna feel good at all.
We'll make this shit anatomically accurate.
Yeah, man, for real. It's gonna look like a Cronenberg film. It's gonna be bad.
Johnny Bedlam talking the talk, my guy. Keep doing your thing, man. I appreciate you for being with us tonight. Before we let you go though, we do a lightning round that we close with. It's called the round of chair shots, and Mister's gonna smack you with hard questions right now. Go ahead, Mister.
Yeah, the hardest of questions.
The hardest.
Okay, man. All right, keep me on my toes. Keep me on my toes, my guy. Let's go.
Cheat meal.
Cheat meal.
Yeah.
Ooh. Local place here in San Antonio called Teddy B's. Man, they got a Hawaiian burger with slices of ham and pineapple chunks. That shit is delicious.
Shout outs to the Hawaiian burger. What's your favorite movie?
Favorite movie, man? Shoot. You know what I can't go wrong with is Major League. Nice. I love Major League.
Nice.
But I was also a big Rocky guy when I was a kid. Rocky 4 especially, man. Like, to me, that's the greatest movie soundtrack of all time. But I will say I did get into Dune recently, and that shit to me is like exquisite, like fantastic, man. That might be, yeah, man, that might be top 3 maybe for me. That shit is awesome. Yeah.
I gotta check that one out. At first, I think you said Doom, like the one with the rock.
Oh no, that shit sucked. I'm gonna be real, man. Like, I wasn't a big fan of that one.
We'll say this motherfucker now. He likes Doom.
We skipped that.
Nah, man.
Where's that go from here? If you could pick a superpower, what would it be?
Ooh, bro. I remember how I reacted when Thanos like rewound time and took that stone out of that dude's head. So that would be it. Like, just to rewind shit and just kind of like do whatever I want, have no consequences. I feel like that'd be really cool. It'd be risky, but it'd be really cool, you know.
Nice.
That's dope. That's dope.
See, I think that's the first time we've heard that one.
Yeah.
Time travel? That would be, yeah.
It's usually some sort of travel situation, right? It's like
Everyone worries.
Yeah. Got to get from point A to point B because they want convenience, man.
yeah, and then all the creeps are like invisibility.
Yeah.
Stay away from all of the invisibility, folks. What is the worst purchase you've ever made?
Oh, you know what, man? So when I was in high school, Cards Against Humanity was the cool thing.
Yeah.
And I remember they had a big box, and it was to hold all the cards. But my dumbass thought that all the cards were in the box. And so I got home, I opened the box, and I was looking at my buddy. I was like, "Hey, there's no cards in here. We just spent $29 on a box, you know?" So that had to be the worst one, man. I took it right back to the Target, and the lady was like, "You'd be surprised. This happens all the time."
All the time.
So, yeah, that made me feel a little better. I'm not the only schmuck that bought the $30 box.
Who's someone you want to meet that's either real or fictional?
Let's see. Daniel Day-Lewis would be one. I hear he makes shoes. I'd love to talk to him about making shoes.
He makes shoes?
Yeah, I hear he's like a woodworker. He studied to be a woodworker with shoes for one of his movies, which I think is cool. I loved him in There Will Be Blood. I thought that movie was amazing. Another guy that I'd love to meet is Paul McCartney, of course, you know, while he's still around. I don't know how long he's going to be around. Man's getting old. But there's a lot, man. There's a lot of like eloquent minds out there that I'd love to just sit down and talk to. You know, a lot of artists that they have like a deeper sense of their work, and not a lot of people can kind of see it. I'd love to just sit down with people and talk to them about like what they were going through when they were making stuff, you know?
So like Kanye.
Yeah, man, Kanye's a mixed bag, bro. Like, you know, there's only so much you can do, but when your girl's got you in a purple dinosaur suit, I don't want to talk to you anymore, man. I'm sorry, bro.
That's things to you.
Yeah.
What's the dumbest way you've been injured?
Dumbest way I've been injured. Like you talking just wrestling or just in general?
Could be in general.
Okay.
I cannot believe that I'm this fucked up over that bullshit.
Yeah, man. So I remember my sophomore year of high school, I fell off a skateboard. And it was just like on the street. I wasn't doing a trick or anything. I just slipped off the skateboard and I got like a bruise on my tailbone. And I had to deal with that thing for like 2 years after that, all from just falling off a skateboard. And I was like, this is the dumbest fucking shit. You know, like I was just trying to ride this skateboard, and lo and behold, I got this thing that turned into something that was way worse than it should have been. For over 2 years. Sometimes it still rears its ugly head. So that's by far the worst thing, the dumbest thing that I've had to deal with.
Oh, that shit still comes up? Like you still like, you get sore?
Yeah, every now and then, man. Like if I take a bad bump or something, it'll rear its ugly head. I'll be like, oh shit. Like I'll take a moment like in the match to kind of like be like, oh man, not that again. Like I hope hope that doesn't go the way I think it's gonna go.
You're like, now landing on my cheek for the rest of the match.
Man. For real.
All right. So in your opinion, Johnny Bedlam, what's more important? The face or the heel?
Shoot, man. You know, if you have a good heel, from a worker standpoint, if you have a good heel that can carry a match, that can dictate a pace, that can look at a crowd and just like ooze hatred, that's something. But man, if you got a baby face that people are behind, I say that's way more important. You got to have that hero. You got to have that conquering guy that, you know, shows that he's not going to give up. One of the things that Book always told us when I was over there was find a kid in the crowd, just one singular kid, and reach out and reach for his hand and make eye contact with him, because that one kid will bring in all these other people, and these people will bring in that people. So man, if you got that guy that just has that thing that people are drawn to, man, there's nothing like that. You can make dollar signs on dollar signs for days.
Who's your favorite wrestler?
Currently or all time?
Both.
Okay. So currently, man, I'm a big Nakamura guy. I just love his intensity. I love his style. I love his movements. He's a guy that's another guy I would love to just sit down and talk to. But all time, man, it'd have to be Sean. Without a doubt, without question, just because of the personal connection. And besides the fact that he's one of, the greatest to ever lace up. I think Sean is the quintessential performer. He knew that wrestling wasn't just wrestling, it was an art form. He had the expressions, he had the face, he had the mannerisms, the way to carry sympathy like no one else. His match with Triple H at Taboo Tuesday in 2004 is probably one of my favorite matches ever, just because it's a masterclass in selling by Sean. He was able to do it like no other. And I think that's why, even to this day, his stuff still holds up.
I don't think I've ever heard anyone mention a Taboo Tuesday match as being their favorite.
Man.
So
when you're studying the game, you find a lot of hidden gems that not a lot of people remember or not a lot of people think of right off the bat. But that's one that sticks with me to this day, man. It's fantastic. You should go watch it.
That one you picked up from homework. That's beautiful. That's from homework.
That's a Grapple Theater, Vic. We're gonna watch that together.
Yeah. What was one? Who did he fight? It was a Taboo Tuesday.
It was Triple H. Yeah, it's on YouTube now. I think they just put it up.
If you're
man, give it a look.
Man, we could set that up, man. We do a Grapple Theater where we just sit back, cooling, and watch matches. If you're willing to watch,
man, I'd love to do that. I'd love to hop
break it
on
down
for that.
and all that, and having your insight with us watching would be amazing because we get to pick your brain at it too. So if ever you want to set that up, man, we could get that rolling.
Absolutely, man. I'd be down for that.
No doubt, man.
What is your favorite role to play? Face or heel?
Man, like everybody likes to be heel because it's a lot easier to make people hate you than make them like you. But myself in general, I love being a babyface just because the underdog story itself is more a testament to my life. I'm a little undersized, a little, not from like a rough area or a rough upbringing. It's just the upbringing that has a lot of smoke and mirrors that I wasn't able to look past. And so, you always feel like you're fighting from underneath. And I feel like every story has that person that's fighting from underneath. And that's something that if you can tap into like your personal animosity that you kind of hold in yourself, that's a role that I love playing because it allows me some kind of catharsis. And I think that's the one thing that people look to for wrestling is catharsis, man. We want to feel a certain way watching this shit. We want to feel a certain way when we see people and hear people talk about things because we go through that. Everybody in wrestling is desperate for attention. That is the name of the game. We want attention so bad. And when we see like people clamoring for it, people like desperately clawing to get that attention, to get those opportunities, that's the story that is so in tune with us because that's who we are, so I love that shit.
Nice. Right. It's see, like I agree with you, man. I'm not crazy big into technical wrestling. Like I'm not a crazy fan of like chain wrestling and reversals. I'm here for the story. I want to see the story, the ring psychology. I want to watch that underdog climb. Like I feel you with that, bro. Do you have any like pre-show rituals, anything that kind of gets you in that headspace to get ready to ball out?
Man, I talk to the God and the woo to protect my neck.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
yes.
And that's
fucking woo.
That's about it, man.
Woo!
That's about it, man. No, I kind of get myself together. When you know that when you hear the bell for the match before you, that's when the stuff starts to kind of settle in. And now, man, once you go through that curtain, you go. There's no like stop. You just keep going, and then eventually it'll be over. So Whether you want it to be good or not, that's up to you.
Woo, Johnny, man, it has been a pleasure. You have been such a bag of surprises, I gotta say. All right, your answers tonight have blown me away from Taboo Tuesday. Right, we got into philosophy a little bit.
Man, if y'all bring me back, I might start spreading some words about Taoism or some shit. So be careful.
Book that shit.
Bro. I'm down. What's one thing you want to tell the fans? Let them know about you, right? People that don't know you, let them get to know you. Who is Johnny Bedlam? Let them know.
You know, shit. I'm just a kid from Texas, dog. I'm a kid from Texas that is doing something that not a lot of people can do. I'm a kid that knows who he needs to surround himself with, and I'm a kid who knows how good he is at what he does. And he knows he's not the best. He knows he's not the guy that people look to, and he's the man. He's not there yet, but he knows he can be. And he's not afraid to talk the talk when he needs to, because sometimes the best thing you can do is keep running your mouth. Squeaky wheel gets the grease. And that's something that I've learned over these years, is that, you know, the only person that's going to promote yourself is you. So you might as well be good at it, and you might as well do it to the best of your ability. So that's who Teflon John is. Man, you want to talk about who Teflon John is, though? Shoot. That's a man with a silver tongue, dog. That's a man that's going to take words, write them on paper, and burn them, and then remember them and roast your ass with the same fire. Like, you know, that's who I am. I'm a guy that ain't going to back down. I'm not going to take no shit from nobody, because I've taken shit, and I don't like the taste of it. I don't think anybody does. So, I mean, rest assured, like, I've learned, I've become kind of a pit bull. A scrappy dog, you know. I'm a dog that got poisoned by their own pack, so rest assured, I ain't afraid to fight another one.
Fire.
Big fire.
Thank you so much, dog.
Woo!
Go ahead, Vic.
Johnny, man, thank you again. Appreciate your time. We were blessed to have you tonight, my guy. One thing's for sure, if you're ever in the East Coast area, my God, please be sure to let us know, because the first round is on the bad guys. And we gonna kick it for sure, my guy.
All right, man. You know, I'll hold you to that first round. Yo. Shoot, if laws change, I might bring y'all a little something. You know what I mean?
Woo! We good on our end. We good on this side.
Yeah, man.
You gotta come to the East Coast. We good on this side,
man.
boy.
I rest assured, bro. If Teflon John ever touches down in your town, you best be ready to party on the east side, player.
Oh, that was fucking good. Woo! My fucking guy! Johnny, I can't wait to get you that first round, my guy. We gonna kick it. We gonna do the damn thing, and we might have to go out to Texas ourselves, man, and catch you doing the
Hey, man, you're always welcome in the friendship state, my guy.
No doubt, my guy. Appreciate you, man. You have yourself a great night, and nothing but blessedness and greatness for the future, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you guys for having me very much.
No doubt, man. Peace. It was a pleasure.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, subscribe and like, hit that button right now. All right, follow us on Twitch, SoundCloud, iTunes, your mother's